What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Season 1, Episode 5 of the Geaux There Podcast. And today's episode is about the truth of becoming a local content creator. That's right. I'm talking about the ins and outs, the worries, the doubts, all the things y'all probably haven't even thought of, or maybe you have, about being a local content creator. What people think it's like, what it's actually like, all the expectations, all the things. So if that's something you're interested in, if you want to be a local content creator, this episode is for you. My name is Bethany Michelle. I'm your host, and thank you so much for being here. I'm also making a vlog. Say hey to the vlog. All right. So, basically episode 5, I just wanted to talk about the truth of becoming a local content creator because there's a lot of things that people want to know, and there's a lot of things that people think they know. And a lot of it is inaccurate. Majority of it is inaccurate, unfortunately. It wasn't until I actually became a content creator myself. A lot of the judgments and opinions and things that I was pushing off to influencers the last few years, the ways I looked at them, the ways I thought about them, and the ways I judged them, is totally different. There's absolutely no way that half of the influencers that I used to think are cringe, I totally respect now because I know they're doing that because it gets clicks and this and that. And I don't know. The first topic that I want to talk about is what people think content creation is like. Because I know from experience, and I know from what I do every single day, I maybe show 1 single hour of my 24 hours. I know that when I was taking care of my dad a few years back, no one even really knew how sick he was. No one knew how bad it was. No one knew how sick we were. I, mental health wise, was completely gone, completely out of it. All I had was TikTok. And for him, he was physically deteriorating at such a quick rate, and he didn't want people to see that online. He didn't even want people to know he was in a wheelchair, for crying out loud, much less that we were going to dialysis 4 times a week, and we were doing dialysis at home. And I always say that I'm going to get into an episode and make an episode about my dad. I thought about doing that today, but I don't feel like I'm ready to fully talk about it. I feel like I need to reflect a little more myself, maybe. I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, ugh, just the idea of that. I just need to sit back and do and a lot of reflecting on what I've learned, what it's taught me and all that before I can actually articulate it and like say that to other people, if that makes sense. I hope it does, because it does for me. I want to talk about the mental exhaustion. I want to talk about showing up when I'm grieving. I want to talk about why I choose to do it anyway, how I've gone viral recently. People are curious about my life, and me personally, I'm not just an influencer. I carry myself, I feel like I'm not just an influencer. I'm an entrepreneur. But I carry myself as a professional. I take pride in what I do. I take pride, and I have so much integrity that I operate with working alongside these local businesses. And a lot of people, I'm learning that a lot of people unfortunately just do not operate that way. They have their morals are attached to a price. Their comfort zone is attached to a price. And I literally had a collaboration. Someone reached out to me and my team last week saying that they wanted to have a collaboration with me, bringing me into a studio like to rap. And it was weighing heavy on my heart because something about it just did not sit right with me. I didn't want the creative or like the editing not to be in my control. And I just decided not to move forward with it. But there was this one point where I told them I was focusing on like paid collaborations at the moment. I need to keep this roof over my head. And they were like, we'll pay you. And when I realized that they said they'll pay me, I sat back for a second and I was like, well, how much would I be willing to do this for? And the moment I thought about that, I was like, oh, no. Whoa. This is not a mindset I want to start getting into. How much would I do something for? I was like, nope. ran it by the team. They were like, hell no. I don't know. It's just, I slept on it and everything. And I realized that is such a dangerous question to start asking myself. And I was like, I can never let myself get to a point where I say, this makes me uncomfortable. Well, how much would I be willing to get paid to be uncomfortable? Like, no. That can't be how I operate. That can't be, no. The moment I thought that, I was like, oh no, I can't do this. So we had to politely decline. If something just doesn't feel aligned with me in the very moment, I just can't force myself to do it. So I'm gonna go grab something to drink because my throat is so like sticky. I don't know how to explain it. Come on, you two. Come lay down. This energy drink, it's called Literal Hell. It's from a different country. I can't even read it. If y'all know where it's from, let me know. I guess I could look it up. So fucking good. So let's get into what people think content creation is like. Because I know when I first started making content, and for some people maybe it is like this, I truly did believe that content creation was just setting up your phone, doing a little dance, and that was it. People have like this preconceived notion that content creation is just so quick, it's so easy. And for some people, it truly is. And I envy those people. But some people think content creation is just setting up your phone, making a little dance, boom, you're viral. And for some people, it truly is. And to those people I say, good for you. Because less really is more. And for some reason right now with content creation, messy is in. So you are more likely to just set your phone up and go viral. I mean, that quite literally happened to me with the Weenie Dog video. That's how this girl's ended up in my life. But for so many people, it's so much deeper than that. Like what you guys don't see, and if you do want to see it, you can go look on TikTok, by the way, is all the stuff it takes to just set up and record a podcast episode. All the stuff it takes to go and do a food review. And I know that sounds so silly. Like, what do you mean all the stuff it takes to go and do a food review? But people think content creation is just so freaking easy. As I'm filming this episode, I literally just want to drop it all and quit. I'm so frustrated. My dogs won't shut the hell up. My computer won't shut the hell up. My phone won't shut the hell up. It's like I can't get a moment of silence, not only in my environment but in my mind, and I'm supposed to show up and be on and be here for the camera and act like nothing's wrong when inside all I want to do is freaking rage. And this is what happens. So I know so many other content creators, but no one wants to talk about it. I'm sure there are people talking about it. I just haven't found them yet. I need to find more content creators that are like me, that are real, that are raw, that are not scared to be honest, that are not scared to scare the wrong people away, because that's truly what I'm doing, like with my reviews. If you don't want me to look at your water in your bathroom, I don't want to be in your business. Truly. But people really think that content creation is just a walk in the park. With these food reviews, they're like, oh, these influencers are getting free food. Like, they just get free food. They just get free food. You do it. You do it then. You make a restaurant want to give you free food. You know how long it took me posting before I got my first offer? Like my first collaboration offer? No, because you don't care. And it's always the people who are like, oh, you're pretty, must be nice. But they don't acknowledge how much being pretty is a disadvantage. How much it makes people not respect me. How much it makes people take advantage of me. How much it makes people think I'm soft. Or how much I have other content creator friends, they're getting offered hundreds of dollars for a video from a restaurant, and that same restaurant comes to me and they're like, how would you like to come in and document your experience? Not offering me not offering me shit. And it's always the people who is like, you're so lucky. They don't want to acknowledge that I did this while my dad was dying. I did this while I was dying emotionally. I don't even know if I should say that, but I did this while my dad was dying. I emotionally was like crumbling. I didn't even want to be here anymore. And it's always those people who are like, you're so lucky. It's because you're pretty. I promise you, if I wasn't pretty, I'd probably have like 1 million followers by now. It's so funny because a joke can come out of my mouth and sound one way, but if a man says it, it's like 20 times more hilarious. Like, I don't get it. As women, we are just held to a higher standard and we scrutinize each other. It's like this whole world is... I don't even want to go on this tangent. I do know that a lot of people just assume that it's pulling up, get a free plate of food. How nice. All you do is get free plates of food, free plates of food. They don't know that I'm driving a lot of times. An hour one way, an hour back. Jacksonville is the biggest city landmass-wise in the entire country. And a lot of these restaurants are across town from my house. So that's 2 hours I'm doing driving unpaid. Okay? My time I'm eating there, which yes, some of the restaurants do have really high quality and high ticket price items. So it could be like a fair trade-off at the size I am now. But for example, there's this coffee company invited me out to go try some limited time stuff, right? I drive 40 minutes to get there. I had a press release that same day. I got there was 2 people sitting at the bar, 1 person at the walk-up counter. I walked up behind the person at the walk-up counter. The people at the bar had a drink. She made the drink for the person at the counter. I was like, hey, I'm here to do what you asked me to do. She's like, okay, cool, go hang out. I went hang out. 10 minutes turned into 15, turned into 20, turned into 30, and I hadn't gotten a single drink. There had been at least 5 or 6 people who walked up to the counter as well. The 2 that were sitting at the bar had gotten served multiple drinks, and I hadn't even got a single thing yet. It had been 30 plus minutes, and I had a press release. I had 1 single hour to do this whole entire collaboration once I got there, because I took account of the driving, right? It's like a whole thing. Like, you actually... And a lot of these brands, they also don't respect the time or the efforts of me. They think the same thing. They're like, oh, just an influencer getting free food. Okay, so you drive... Basically, what I'm trying to say is every single video I post is at least 4 hours of my time. Hours. My time is so much more valuable than anything, and I think that's the issue I'm having at the moment, is realizing that my time is so much more valuable than any other thing I possess at the moment. And it was literally this 3rd failed coffee collaboration of that month, and I just basically gave up on coffee companies at that point. I was like, oh my gosh. Which the lady was so sweet and everything, but she was working by herself, and she was telling like the 2 at the bar. She's like, I'm so glad that everyone's patient here because we have only 1 person working. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm not patient. I have somewhere to be. Like, I've been patient, but I'm getting very impatient at the moment. She's like saying that as she's making their like 3rd drink for the people at the bar, which it turned out they were influencers. So she was like giving those influencers their entire flight of drinks before she even gave me one. Which, in turn, looking back, I'm glad she did, because then I would have been trapped there for probably like an hour and a half. But it's just the fact that that was literally 2.5 hours of my time of that day that was wasted before a press release that I could have been doing to like actually reset, give to myself. And that was when I realized I gotta start charging. I really do. Not only that, but the fact that I quit my job. I refuse to go back to work because I'm so like dead set on chasing my dream right now. And if that's the case, the same way I'm telling all these businesses to raise their prices and all this stuff, why can't I put a price on what I do? Everyone else is doing it. And, I mean, I don't even know if this episode is going to make any sense, because I feel like I'm just, like, bopping here and there. But I'm just trying to, like, give y'all more of what actually goes on behind the scenes. Like, I know me personally, I'm not even a content creator who does like hair, makeup, crazy stuff like that, but I couldn't imagine if I like got up and did my freaking hair and makeup. I don't know, it's just it's people think that we get free food all the time, that we're rich. I remember how I used to look at influencers. I literally looked at influencers as if they were like miniature celebrities who had all the money, all the time, and all the resources in the world. And that truly is just not the case. A lot of these influencers have full-time jobs. Actually, like 90% of them do. Well, the ones I know. Because I'm like guessing, like I'm in the stage of like influencers who are small. We're not in the millions or even the hundreds of thousands. We're all basically still under that. But majority of the influencers I know, 90% of the influencers I know have a full-time job. I'm one of the only dumbasses out here who doesn't, and I'm too afraid to put a price tag on my services. I realized I was so stupid, so stupid. I used to take pride in being like, I don't charge businesses. You're dumb. Like, girl, you can take pride in getting paid for your time, money, effort, knowledge, expertise, resources, all the above services, while still being a good person, not taking advantage of people. And does that make sense? Because once I realized, let's be honest, once I realized that your favorite influencer is charging $500 per video, I was like, why am I afraid to charge $500 to help someone manage their social media? Like, and then I was like, why am I not charging for my videos? I'm literally driving 2 hours. I'm spending an hour editing. I'm doing, like, people do not realize. And then the fact that I have a platform, people trust me, people do what I do, people listen to what I say, and people go where I go, they buy what I buy, they shop where I shop, because they know I'm not lying. I'm starting this year, and I said it. I was like, in the new year, I'm getting paid. In the new year, I'm getting paid. In the new year, I'm getting paid. I wasn't charging anybody. And I still, if I'm being honest, by the time I'm making this video, I still am scared to charge people. And there's something just funny about that. And it's because I care. It's because I care. I always said I never charge people for 2 reasons. 1, I didn't know how the video was going to do. And 2, I didn't know if I was actually going to like it. And that still is the case. But that doesn't mean I go and spend those 4 hours of unpaid work. So people they just assume I'm rich. They think I just get free food all the time. And it's, if I'm being honest, I did just get free food all the time. But that's literally all I was getting. It was to the point where I was driving. There's been times where I've drove an hour just to get coffee in return. One of my friends told me that the new assumption out there is that I do things for free. Because I did so much for so many people for so long, that's just what people assume. And it's so true. It is so freaking true. At first I thought he was kind of nuts when he said that to me. But no, he was so right. Because I have so many brands in my DMs. Matter of fact, I just had like a smoke shop DM me. And they were like, hey, we're doing our grand opening. Want to come and document your experience? Which, side note, when I did tell them I'm focusing on paid, they were like, okay, send over your rates. But it's just so interesting. Like, there was this quote I found, and it is so true. It said, sorry, I can't take on any unpaid work to help your business make money. Thanks for thinking of me, though. And ever since I saw that, I was like, dude, it's so true. The most valuable thing that I possess is what I have been giving away single-handedly. And it's taken me about 20 minutes to articulate that in this episode. So I'm going to hate myself when I'm editing this. But it's so frustrating. That's what I'm hoping this podcast helps me do, is get better at expressing how I feel verbally. Because it is just insane. Just the mental exhaustion that I go through with content creation. Some days I wake up, I'm not on point. Some days I wake up, I don't want to do this. There's the truth behind being a local content creator that actually cares. I care about people. I care about their business. And I know you can't be an emotional person when it comes to money and making money. But it doesn't matter. I will always forever be an emotional person. No matter what. And it's just mentally exhausting to wake up some days feeling like I got it all together. I'm that girl. I own a business. I run that. I know what I'm doing. I'm confident. And then there's days like today where I wake up And I'm like, oh my God, I have to film this podcast. I don't know what to talk about. My dogs won't stop barking. My head won't stop barking. Them dogs don't start barking in my head. I don't know how to file my taxes. Me with this taxes thing. This taxes thing is freaking me out. There's just so many moving parts to my life offline that I don't show that I probably should. It's so exhausting. It's truly, it's so exhausting. I would do it again anyways. I mean, this is all I've ever wanted, was to have my own YouTube channel, my own podcast, I'm doing and reaching every goal I set for myself, and everyone around me keeps saying how they're so proud of me too, which is the funny thing. Everyone around me keeps saying they're proud of me, my mom included, and I feel like such a fuck up right now. I feel so lost. I'm about to cry. I was watching a YouTube video, and it talked about, one of the girls in there talked about how she's now where she always dreamed of being. She has millions of followers. And she was like, if there's anyone out there listening to this who's on their way to following their dreams and they're reaching their goals, basically, and she's like, you're so close, you can taste it. She was like, I want you to listen to one thing, focus on one thing, trust the process. She's like, I would go back to being able to just be normal and go out and not be asked to take a picture like 5 times in the middle of Target again. And it made me realize, I was like, dude, that's exactly where I am. I'm like at 60,000 followers. I'm known. People ask to take pictures with me in public every now and then. People will take pictures of me, but I'm not famous. I'm not, thank God. So I'm like, she's kind of right. Like, maybe the dream I've always wanted of having a big platform, maybe it's meant for me in 2, 3, 4 years. Not me right now. Because I think mentally, if I had that right now, I would crumble. I'd crash out. I know it. I just know it. But I don't know. I feel like I didn't stick to the topic as much as I wanted to this episode about the truth of being a local content creator. But it's just, there's been so many business owners I've met and so many people I've worked with. And I'm also learning that not every business is one I should or am aligned to work with. And it's just so interesting. It's so interesting how many different people I've met, how many different businesses I've worked with and alongside, how many different personalities I've spoken to. Like this morning, I had someone asking to send me like some clothes. Actually, I had 2. Maybe I won't do clothes stuff anymore for local clothing companies, because one local clothing company asked to send me stuff and I sent them my actual home address and they never sent anything. I'm like, now you have my address for no reason. And then the second one, we've been going back and forth all week, and we just agreed to meet this weekend, and I woke up and they blocked me on Instagram. I'm like, I'm doing you a favor. I was doing it for free. So I was like, this is why, that right there is just why I can't even deal with talking to people sometimes or trying to be nice and helping, because my kindness does get taken advantage of very often. But I think it's really important to make sure that there's still ethics in what I do, because there's a reason why I believe that influencers, a lot of them hurt small businesses versus helping, because I've seen time and time again so many influencers just charge mindlessly. You know, I've seen a small business owner pay their last $500 for someone to make a video that got 500 views. Like, it's a slippery slope, and there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that people just don't see, they don't talk about. And maybe once I edit this episode, I'll realize that there's just not enough that I touched on, and maybe I'll do a part 2 of this one specifically. But for now, I know that my camera is almost out of storage. I have like 2 minutes. If there's anything you take away from today's episode, let it just be that we're real people with real lives and real feelings offline, and we do get overwhelmed and we do get stressed out, and like today is just not my day. And I really probably should not be in the comment section of my videos, but I have to do my job. So with that being said, just let that be what you take away from today. I hope I didn't mumble for too long, because I know that I speak solo when I get like deep, and I love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for watching, and thank y'all for getting deep with me on episode 5 of the Geaux There Podcast. Bye.